100 years in the making, and now almost 100 test matches to be played between the All Blacks and the Springboks this weekend in Townsville, Australia. It is a big milestone for these two countries, and I'll be looking to break down what they'll need to do to beat each other in this test match. Now, before I start with that, I just want to say that I'm super excited. Being a Springbok fan, a bit concerned, but I'll obviously discuss everything in this video, where the box might, have to do the business to actually get the result. But what a grand occasion. It was supposed to happen in 2020 where these sides were supposed to meet for the 100th time. But I think in terms of, celebrating 100 years, it's actually fitting to play the 100th test match in the 100th year for that matter. So I'm quite stoked, for this test match this weekend. And let me get into this. So the All Blacks have been on quite a run so far, unbeaten in 2021. They smashed Argentina back to back. They smashed Australia, which actually went on to do the same against South Africa and beat them two times in a row to bring down their number one status as the best team in the world. And now the All Blacks, I think for the first time in a decade, will face a world champion team, but the world champion team not being ranked first on the world rankings. So it's going to be an interesting clash because the Boks will want to get one back on the All Blacks more than just the victory, but also getting their ranking back. So what do these guys need to do is the question. I think for the All Blacks, not so much. I think they've been very much, going well in their processes so far. They've been growing, for the last year and a half. If you think back to 2020, they had a loss to Argentina. They had a draw against Australia. I think one loss to the Aussies as well. So it's not been smooth sailing for them in 2018, but sorry, 2018, sorry, in 2020. But in 2021, they just seem to sort of find themselves and basically know what they want to achieve under Ian Foster. Whereas for the Springboks, they did well to win the Lions series, don't get me wrong, but they are probably a bit in a transition phase in some sense, with a new coach on board, although he has been involved for a while. Jockney now but still has to sort of find the change room to be made his, where the players actually, I'm not sure I can say this, but I just don't feel that he actually owns the change room full on yet. I think he's getting there, but there's still a lot needed to be done. He's not Rassie Erasmus for one, and I think maybe that Rassie factor is missing. So, like I said, the All Blacks, they don't need to do much in this test match. I think if they just stick to their processes and maybe just try and outsmart the Springboks, especially out wide, where they've been caught, against Australia and conceded a couple of tries, it will be vital. But I think both sides will need to play their game and their A game on it. So the All Blacks will need to do what they do best at their very best. And the Springboks, for one, their discipline will need to be sharpened up because they conceded, I think, 3 yellow cards so far in 2 test matches. Their defense needs to be better, absolutely better. I mean, for a team that's done so well in the World Cup year defensively, and even in the Lions series, I'm not sure if it is living in quarantine or if it is just external factors. Maybe the guys are just mentally tired, but um, for them to miss the amount of tackles they did against Australia was unusual of the Springbok team. And I think those two factors, the two Ds, the defense and discipline, has been so crucial to the Boks' recent success. They won the World Cup, I think only conceding 1 yellow card, which Tena Tawarira did, with a tip tackle on the Japanese player. And their set piece will have to be spot on. In 2019, again, they lost one line out. In 2021, they've lost, I think, about 4 or 5 now. It's a bit alarming, to be honest. But I think for South Africa, I think they've been listening to the outside noise. And I spoke to Yanni Shimangi not too long ago during the Lions series, and he said to me, but you know what, if you listen to the noises in the crowd, you end up sitting next to them. And it's probably one of the wisest words I've heard in my life. And I think, against Australia, the Springbok tried to run the ball a bit more, and it actually went against them. They actually deviated from what they do well and tried to listen to the public by being more expansive. And yes, I do believe you need to be innovative, you need to be creative at every level of rugby, but you can't do things, in terms of want to attack everywhere, but you don't have the ascendancy and the go forward to do so. So first, win your collisions, your set piece, And from there onwards, like they did in that 2019 final, everyone says they changed the game plan, but they didn't. They just got so much ascendancy with ball in hand, with every carry, with every set piece. They got so many penalty advantages, and they were driving England backwards in order for them to play the game they did, and they won quite comprehensively. And I think if the Springboks were to upset the All Blacks this weekend, I think that's exactly what they need to do. They need to cut down their space, suffocate them on defense, make sure that if they do get ball, it's not clean ball, it's disrupted at the breakdown, which is a thing. I think the Springboks will need to focus on as well, because a few times they were countered up by Australia, and very well countered us. So the breakdown was an issue for the Boks this past weekend as well, and I think it's one area they need to focus on for sure if they were to have any chance in this test match. So it's a lot of, how can I put this, those 1%ers, the 1% at set piece, the 1% at execution. And that's another thing they need to be very, very good at, is execution, because they've been, I almost said piss poor. Yeah, they've been piss poor, if I can say that word, So it's a case of who executes better, who makes the least mistakes. And I just hope for one thing. I hope that after this 18 minutes, whoever will win this test match, there will be no discussion towards the referee. And if there is, it is a good discussion. And it's a discussion where we commend him to say, you know what, he had a good game. But we don't want to talk about an odd decision here or there that could have cost either side the match. I mean, I look back to 2019, the All Blacks won 23-13 at the World Cup. But Joe Moody, and he's selected for this weekend, he had a leaning elbow to the ground at every scrum, and he got the penalty. It was shocking from Jerome Garcia, who, funny enough, refereed the final for the Springboks. But in saying that, take the referee out of the equation. Sorry, I'm just so excited for this test match, guys. And geez, I'll be up, and I'll take my morning jog. I'm a bit superstitious in that regard, because I think it was in 2018 the first time. I think it was in how many 10 years we beat the All Blacks away, or more than that. We That morning I went for a jog and we beat them, and then the following year when we had a draw in Wellington again, I went for a jog as well. So I think that's going to be my routine on Saturday. But you know what, if I think back to the epic clashes that I've witnessed myself between these sides, I've always been on the losing side for that matter. I've watched the All Blacks and Springboks at Ellis Park, where we lost due to a late Richie McCaw try. I think that score was 27-20. Lima Sapuanga made his debut that day. And then we lost 24-25 at that beloved Newlands. It was, we lost that game that day, but it was probably one of the best test matches I've been involved with, or I've ever been in attendance. It was just amazing. For some reason we lost, but no one expected us to come so close to beat the All Blacks, especially that 2 weeks prior that we lost to them 57-0. And it was truly a feeling of a World Cup final. I wouldn't know what it is live, but that was the closest thing I got, to a World Cup final feeling. And then in 2018 in Pretoria, we had a 30-13 lead, and there were 18 minutes left on the clock. 18 minutes, and the All Blacks managed to win 32-13. It was an epic clash. I wish we could have won that day, but the party afterwards was still epic. So yeah, I'll never forget it. I had a very fun weekend there in Pretoria. But needless to say, I can't wait to be in the stadium back again to witness these sides play. And you know what? I'll always joke and talk nonsense, but I have the utmost respect for the All Blacks. I honestly do. I've met some of the players; they are great guys. I've met some of the Springbok players; they are great guys, and I'm sure that the rivalry will continue for the next 100 years. So, wherever you support this weekend, grab your beverages, have a good time, support your team, but keep it respectful and respect your opposition. Respect everyone out there who don't support who you support. Because people can get under your skin. I'm not sure who's gonna all watch this video, but in South Africa there's a lot of All Black support, and they tend to use the phone for other reasons. And I spoke to a Kiwi about this. He was gonna watch this, Tamati Louis. And he said to me, you know what, mate? At the PE7s, guys use the phone as a form of hatred towards Springboks, where guys in All Black jerseys would spit on the Springbok Sevens players, and he said he hated it because that's not what their phone stands for. So guys, please, if you support the All Blacks by any means, that's fine, but don't support it out of hatred for the Springboks, whatever reason it may be, because that doesn't make you a sports person. It just makes you a hater. And yeah, I'm preaching now. So yeah. But in any case, guys, enjoy the and girls, sorry. I'm trying to be neutral here. Guys and girls, enjoy the test matches weekend. Let me know what you think, where both sides will have to be on top of their game. And yeah, don't indulge into the drinks early morning in South Africa and in Australia. I guess by the time kickoff comes, you guys will be quite buzzed up at the point in time. But have a good test match, enjoy it, enjoy the occasion, and I hope that in 100 years, someone like my son or my daughter, for that matter, might make a video like this, and we look back at this and say, you know what, it was a great occasion, and rugby was doing on the day. Cheers.